from the Next Issue Podcast, and oh my God, today we have a review for The Boys, season 3, episode 5. Damn, what a freaking episode! Like we definitely left with a big cliffhanger last time, and things are about to get very real. So, as you know, normally for these type of reviews, I do go into spoilers. So, spoiler alert: if you haven't seen the episode, go check it out. Amazon finally made good and dropped it at the normal time, and usually on Thursday evening, as opposed to last week when, for some whatever reason, it was so far delayed into Sunday or into Friday. But anyways, like I said, spoilers for The Boys, season 3, episode 5, and the previous episodes. So we got a few things going on. Let's start with the Homelander stuff. So Homelander is now finally at the top of Vought in this episode. He continues to unhinge. And one thing I've been talking about this whole season is Anthony Starr's performance as Homelander is so good. He's so deranged. I'm really, really enjoying it. I think it is right now the heart of the show because it really gives me like a reason to like somebody to hate, right? Somebody to root against. And even though the boys they're having some struggles right now, I think the team's having some struggles. Like I will always still root for them more than I would for Homelander because Homelander is just a complete asshole. Um, so yeah, he continues to make moves. He's definitely not equipped to run a company. We've seen that. He finally meets the board. There's a really good scene where he meets the board members. One of them asks a negative question, and as we know, Homelander does not respond well to pretty much any negative feedback. And then Ashley, who has been appointed CEO of Bot, once again, she's doing such great work, but she has this struggle with Annie, where we almost see that Annie is going to get through to her, but she realizes that you don't want to cross Homelander. So very cool stuff. She's also something's going on with Maeve. We don't know what's happening. What's happened to Maeve? She Now that's kind of an intertwining story because Maeve has been helping Butcher, and I think Homelander finally realized this because Butcher and Maeve had sex in this episode after a night of kind of just sharing some common, some just suffering that they have in common. So Homelander it was a really good scene because he's like Homelander was like, I can smell Butcher on you like on the next day. So we see Black Noir finally kind of stepping into this season, but we don't really know what happened to Maeve. So really interesting there. We're gonna figure out what happened probably in the next few episodes. Now let's talk a little bit about one of my favorite sequences in this storyline. Although I'm not super on board with the storyline with Frenchie and Little Nina, and I just think I think that we know from last episode Kimiko was not healing. They do finally get her to a hospital. The boys did come back to the States, so uh, yeah, it's just Frenchie and her have such a really good relationship. It almost feels like it's the only thing that's working in the show, as far as like things that we can actually be happy for these characters, their relationship. But unfortunately, now we have Little Nina stepping in as another obstacle in the road for them to be happy. But in the meanwhile, there is this really fun sequence where French is imagining Kimiko getting her voice back. It's a whole musical number. You've probably seen it in the trailers. It was great. The choreography, the lighting, like it was just really, really fun sequence. Probably my favorite thing of the episode. So now we also have let's just talk about Soldier Boy now, which is the main crux of the episode. Uh, Soldier Boy he was left loose in Russia, but because he is so resourceful as a soup, he was able to make his way back to the States as well. A few, like a day or two after the boys landed. So now that the boys are back in town and Soldier Boy is also back in town, we have another threat. We can see that Soldier Boy's beam, like the explosion that he has. It looks like not only does it take away powers, because that's why Kimiko was not healing, but I think also it is not fully under his control. Whatever the Russians did to him, and the show has a really good way to just do a lot of exposition as to what the Russians did with the experiments. So it definitely feels like a big. I mean, we know he's the Captain America, proto version of the show, but in this case, like, it's a really messed up version. It's almost a combination of, I think of it as the Winter Soldier and Captain America, right? Definitely, Soldier Boy is a man at a time. We get introduction to this really fun character. We get to see Paul Reiser in this in this show. He plays an individual called the Legend, who used to be the VP of handling superheroes for Vought back in the day. So before things changed, before Vought only cared about, like, the politics and the points with the people or whatever. Before Sidwell came in and took his her, and she took his place. So a really fun scene with Paul Reiser and the boys as they gather information. We keep learning more and more about Mother's Milk, like whatever happened, like why he hates Soldier Boy so much. I think that's a real interesting thread that we keep pulling at every episode. And that's also going to become the crux of some issues for the team later on. So yeah, Soldier Boy, he goes back to this Legend person because he had his uniform, and I guess he's the only contact that he would know in the city back in the States. And Soldier Boy is looking to find his ex-girlfriend, Crimson. I forget her full name, but we saw her a few episodes ago. Yeah, and he's out to get her. He's out to kill her, and she does that. There's this really crude and disgusting scene where I guess the Crimson, his ex-girlfriend, she's doing like this superhero, like, cam girl type of stuff. So she's chatting with none other than Seth Rogen, making a cameo in the show as a customer, paying for the celebrity porn, right, to this interaction. And like I've said before, this show is crude and it's vulgar, but it's really, really entertaining. And then yeah, the boys show up. They tied her. They use her as leverage to give something to Soldier Boy, so that they'll team up. Now, for this to happen, we know that Mother's Milk would not go along with this. So unfortunately, Butcher kind of backstabs him by roofing him, um, and that's kind of gonna really, because Butcher sees this as an opportunity to finally take a Homelander with Soldier Boy and his ability to remove powers. Obviously, Mother's Milk wouldn't have gone for that. So I think we are at a very, very tough spot. There was one last story with A-Train and the other hero, Blue Hawk, who has been targeting Black communities with his vigilante justice. And I don't know if the show's handling that super well. I don't know what they're trying to do with the character of A-Train, but that was we can definitely see some parallels to issues going on in the real world. So we'll see what comes out of that. I think A-Train is due for a redemption arc, but we'll see if that can help, if that can happen. Because of his lack of superpowers, is there another way he can step up to the plate? So a lot of stuff happening. Very interesting episode. I'm glad they dropped it early so I could make this video early, get it out to you guys. So let me know down in the comments, what do you think of this show so far? Are you enjoying this season? I can't believe we're already 5 episodes in. That's what happens when you get 3 dropped in right away. But yeah, stay tuned because we'll keep covering The Boys. The season 3 is just chugging along. And we'll have more stuff on the channel as well. So make sure to share, like, subscribe. Leave us a comment with your favorite thing about the episode. And stay tuned. We are very close to 700 subscribers, so make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.